For practice problem number 3, we're given a bunch of shapes, figures, shown on a coordinate plane here. They label them a bunch of letters J, K, L, M, N, and P, and we see those shapes here. Part A asks us which figure can be transformed into figure P. So we see figure P right up here. How do we transform into figure P? By doing a translation 2 units to the right, followed by a reflection across the x-axis. So which of these figures here, if we translated them 2 units right and flipped them, reflected them across the x-axis, which is right here, would end up being where P is? See, figure J is right here. If we were to flip figure J across the x-axis, it would land down here after moving 2 units right. That's not going to be where figure P is. So J is a distractor. Figure K, we see K sitting right here. K is way too small. It's never going to match P anyways. So unless we had a dilation, I know figure K is a distractor. Figure L, we see over here. If we move that 2 units right and we flipped it across the x-axis, it's going to end up in quadrant 1. That's nowhere near figure P. So we better hope figure M works. If I look at figure M for a second, if I moved it 2 units right, dragged it 2 units right, and then flipped it across this x-axis, we see -4 for the top point here, +4 there. We see this is down at -8 for the broad end, and same thing for P. So if we shift this 2 right, translate it 2 to the right, or shift it, drag it 2 to the right if you want to call it that, and then flip it across the x-axis, M would land right where P is. So that's why M is your correct answer, or figure M. Part B asks us, which figure can be transformed into figure L? So we're going to be trying to figure out how do we get to this one right here, figure L. And we need to do a 90-degree rotation clockwise, followed by a translation 2 units down. So which of these figures, when we rotate 90 degrees clockwise around the origin and move 2 units down, would work? I have 4 options, J, M, N, and P. So we'll take a look. J is right here. If we were to rotate J 90 degrees clockwise around the origin, it would spin down to this quadrant. And then they say we would need to move 2 units down. It looks like J might work. Let's take a look at the other 3. M, if you rotate 90 degrees clockwise, it's going to rotate up into quadrant 2. That's nowhere near quadrant L, so I know M is a distractor. Figure N, up here, and figure P, both of them, if we go 90 degrees clockwise, will only end up in quadrant 1. They would only shift 1 quadrant in a clockwise rotation, so they wouldn't be anywhere near L. So that gives me more confirmation that J, when I rotate it 90 degrees and then move it 2 more units down, will line up with L. It's the only possibility that really works here.